What is it? I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and if you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
No. Yes. No, you're right. I'm not. I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything. They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just...
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
I use the AR1 as my RAIN prefect's processing unit. Mm-hmm. Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you? All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna. On the front, the unified front of radio waves, lies it's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, but it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. the light comes.
Could you just shh for a moment? Or
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do, and you're not helping.
So you do know something about computers. You're right. Prefect is used mostly by the government peeps. No, I don't. Because I needed something good for my investigation, and Reims Civic is widely agreed to be below all standards. Besides, owning a Reims prefect isn't such a big...
No, actually, it is kind of a big deal. You don't see Ream prefects in every police department, for example.
I know a friend of a friend who used to freelance for the Coalition. I was actually aiming for the military-grade Reims Rational series, but couldn't find one. Prefect is mainly based on the same technology as Reims Civic, so it's kind of a rip-off. But it does have better compatibility with newer antenna models, so I won't complain. Great. What?
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music. This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want. Take a guess, why don't you? I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another...
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
You really like those questions, don't you? I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out. I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that. Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have?
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out? You measure it by its surroundings, by that which does exist, which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro-transducers to record the...
Hydro-transducers. So that's what those...
But honestly, it's not progressing very well. Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to cease.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just...
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place. I know. No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning. Her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
Because it's just trial and error. Trying to locate the swallow, the exact point, and I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work. Great. Thanks.
It's great to see you again, officer. My wife can't wait to thank you. Go on, talk to her.
Hello, officer. Name's Gary. Boy, am I ever so grateful to you. But I'm not the only one.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
I knew it.
I'm not surprised. It's already getting out of hand.
Well, in that case, sweetie, let me give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Mexican origin. The pin isn't.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of it. You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
I hope you were able to pawn that old trinket. Oh, thank you, dear. I confess I am glad to see it.
Even the lieutenant seems happy with this too.
Now, what else, sweetie? Oh, you don't want to hear about...
Ramblings. Nonsense.
Darling, I didn't even...
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe.
That is a way, way bigger compliment than it sounds like. Reflexively, the lieutenant...
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden... I looked up, and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved. I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water.
Where did you go?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course...
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insul Indian...
So that's how they met.
It did, yes.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I...
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige.
Our first, yes.
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
But I don't believe it. A child left unattended on a warm day. Children make up stories.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to...
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own. Honorable one, you have accumulated a substantial amount of honor points on your life path. You are a man most virtuous. Oh, the modesty on this one. Another, you are on the fast track to becoming one of the rarest, most revered of all police officers, an honor cop. You continue to display such humility. This is to be admired. Good. You feel its presence. Even among the honorable, only the most dignified are deemed worthy. But honor comes from deep within you. And to truly know oneself, to know you need to bring the thumb of your right hand, your sword hand, to your rectum and stick it in there to form the arch of honors. Then they will witness honor so great, it seems nigh impossible a single man can contain it. They will admire you, honorable one.
What are you doing? The big deal? I guess we really do.
Good. That was a lie, most honorable. Sometimes congratulations, honorable one. Go forth and commit even more honor. It is an honor to serve with you. Honor.
I really owe you one for getting us out of those reeds, officer. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows. Yellow man. Might this be the owner of that mug you found in the trash? This is something to ask him about after a little probing.
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
This man respects authority too much to see you for what you are. Pretend thou art a sober man.
I've been tempted on occasion, but someone has to stay strong for Revacol.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
My mug?
His eyes widen at the sight of the mug. He's seen it before, all right.
Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone. Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the... You're not going to find me, are you? Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't... I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price...
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing! Just answering some questions. I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a... I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a...
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Officer, please. Let me explain. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hard...
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird sounds in a bar like this.
Maybe it was pinball.
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing. There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely after this topic is concluded.
I hope I could help your
Does this mean you were in his apartment, admiring his colonial mug collection? Perhaps it would be interesting to tell him.
Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
Mr. Everard? So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, what have I done? He'll send the muscle after...
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Whatever it is, tell him I'm silent as the grave. I was probably talking too loud in the Whirling the other night. I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you...
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from...
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be and...
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door opening. That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out. Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. This shame.
Gary,
I took the hangman's...
God damn it, Gary.
I know.
shame on you. Give the Quirac. Gary didn't mean to interfere with your investigation officers. He's just thick-headed and poor as dirt, but he's always helped us.
He's a loyal friend.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Seolite officers commanded the suzerain's navy. Most of them sided with the king when...
They were thoroughly conservative men. It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotions.
I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying that anymore.
This is all he knows. He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass, but so light to hold, like a bag of cotton.
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I...
He's a scaredy cat.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I won't mess with Mr. Clare either. You have my word. I'm sorry.
Short means sincere. This man is truly sorry for underestimating the honor and military might of the sea.
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I told you everything.
'Tis true, sire. This man... Droplets of rain fall on the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage. Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice, with its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox The kinema is the high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems, and due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
You want to take a closer look? 130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
7.2. Supercharged.
Saying these words brings him immense joy.
Yes, an extraordinary machine.
Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the... It's a bit girly right now. Fitted with some proper off-road components.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first. Maybe. Yes,
And means no. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Sorry, sir. I still haven't heard back from the database people. Try calling again later. Is 57?
In the cabin, you see the tear machine stand. Your bottles clunk into the...
Body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Miss.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you with my... It must be frightening to stand in the shadow. What is this?
You hear your heart pumping, fast and irregular. Your joints ache and you feel old, but still alive.
Stop it. You are embarrassing yourself in front of... This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a stronger maternal instinct, but it is a liability here on Battlefield Martinez.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
It's not good.
Yes,
He means alcohol.
correct. My small skull servant. Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you for humiliating them.
Intentionally fermented drinks have existed for 10,000 years.
This is a fabrication the alchemists of Yizot and Bashir and their Rolam Al-Ghul have fed your people. Go on believing in it, race loser. Why don't you have another drink? Your features are not.
Oh yeah, Measurehead.
This is going well for Measurehead.
Your mouth moves, but the one who speaks is Al-Ghul. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich.
Show him the ham still got it. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Look at my craniology. I am the pinnacle of my haplogroup. The pink blob is a bad example, even of yours. It saddened me. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now your ascent to the genetic, you will be superseded.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough with this begging. You should bring your troops to the Simenine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will put the walls will be lined with bottles of Al-Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the oaths.
You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. It would enrich you rhetorically. Well, not as such. What you do with the mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront international capital. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up. Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. I can see that. The Seminoles are the South Island race. Haplogroup A4A. We are the future. That is all you need to know. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulembuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Semini. No. I have heard.
He would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the women.
I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is... You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms.
I think this racist is better than the last. But the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits. A protruding occiput and an indented zygomatic bone.
The lieutenant does not...
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind. I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called hardy boys...
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him. He is usually more himself.
Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence of a... Find out for yourself.
Interesting.
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a red... He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently...
True. That is a noble cranium. But you got a hard noggin yourself.
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw, indicative of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, it is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murder. Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of
overproductive honor glands. Here it is. It's titled Honor for the Brave and goes, I have no family. I make honor my family. I have no home. I make bravery my home. I have no desire. I make dignity my desire. I have no friends. I make humility my friend. I have no enemy. I make dishonor my enemy. This is my vow of honor for the brave. Size him up first.
Oh, it must be frightening to stand. What is...
You hear your heart.
Stop. This...
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard.
You reek of it. An invisible sword.
It's not good.
Your Occident...
Show it. Does this remind you of someone? The guy.
Jerking motions. Signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental haplogroup has fallen. You gave the... You dominate. You win.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Bring your troops, you all.
You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. Well, not as such. What you do with the mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become... Welcome, you must... True, that is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself.
You exhibit forward projection. It is important. This leads... Your racial heritage is uninteresting. No.
There must be some friction there.
Mr. Clare is a man also. To serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. Offshoots of the... I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the South Island. We are the few. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulm. No.
You would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry.
Yes.
This could have made him more open to discussing the race enigma with you.
I think
That will be
he will grant us.
Your pedo...
the lieutenant.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind. I am...
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act.
Find...
Interesting.
Descent has only...
Go ahead. Don't be shy. Just ask for race secrets. That's understandable. Jean-Luc Measurehead is a sage and an intellectual gym.
Your race descent has...
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you? What thing? We already got in the harbor. You just want to...
You are obviously a liberal, Sailmate. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile race. Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals. Excluding the Mao, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where a receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwa.
Mahun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotvaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Uhu, are much more like in some municipalities of Oranje. People do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreathing has led to a lactose intolerant.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden cloth.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have type A race propensities. The other large mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum. As proven by the mound and the mask, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Semenese and the Areopagites are on the ascent. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Semenese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Semeno-Areopagite, or Sim.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race.
The Khoikos of Grad, Yuko, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white officer in a suspect description.
Yes, to an untrained eye, the Khoiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are often pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking the Khoiko. The countless micronationalities of Grad are all inexplicably obsessed with potard. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted. From Holy Sem, its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Semenese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inert spoilage called demos. The Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial cauldron, two mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive Chespius. The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zarath-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal and front. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia, a hereditary prion condition passed from the Khoiko to the Occidentals, but not sexually. Probably through trade roots and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant. Enough of Tibet mediocrity. Chips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Seminese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Seminese. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right. You have misunderstood.
The sage will not budge on this.
Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki? The Koiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Simonese with the Koiko. This will never happen. The Simonese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Simonese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koiko woman or Koika.
There is a strange sadness in his tone, a less than heroic melancholy this time.
The heart that pumps the hemoglobin is mysterious, and so is its dark will.
He does not seem angry, nor does the woman look affected. She just twirls her hair. Perhaps they've been through this and established an accord.
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. I cannot possibly imagine what else.
Yes?
Measurehead.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Are you? It must be frightening to What is?
Merely step.
Stop it. This
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
That is precisely the negligence that has. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but other. No, you don't. You need to get another drink.
Show him that. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Jerking motions. You gave the. You dominate. You will.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Enough. Bring your troops to the walls.
You could internalize Measurehead's race theory. Well, not as such. What you do with the mastery of advice. Don't say anything.
Oh, it must be frightening to stand in the shut. You have succumbed to all. You reek of it. An invisible sword of all. Your Occident.
Show him. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there?
Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear. You gave the world. You don't.
It is, baby, yeah. You know it.
Bring your walls.
You could internalize the best idea. Welcome. He must. True. That is a noble cranium.
But your silence betrays your inferiority. You do not. No.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
He's stuck. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. You're petulant. Of course you are. Levasholian man. The failure above all. Rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Stop explaining yourself. No one cares. Of course, I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the...
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance, in silence.
I think
that will be the...
That is understandable. The previous race...
These cops are just jealous, Jean-Luc.